What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Waffid, and we got a brand new Nintendo Direct coming tomorrow. This is going to be one of the longest directs, if not the longest direct ever. The last time we got a general was back in April, which was like 5 months ago now. And we did get, an Indie World and a partner showcase last month, but nothing really from Nintendo first party wise. Without further ado, here are my predictions on what I think they're going to show in tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Let's start with the next wave of free Switch 2 patches. Now these are the following games that I think they're going to patch. So back in that April Direct, they announced that 12 Switch 1 games were going to get patched to run better on the Switch 2. These included games like Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which all got free 4K 60 FPS and HDR patches. Given all that, I'm gonna predict that another wave of Switch 1 games are going to get Switch 2 patches announced. The Xenoblade Chronicles games, easily the most requested set of patches right here. They would look phenomenal with the better resolution and frame rates, and if they do get patched, it would breathe brand new life to them. These games notoriously had some pretty bad resolution in handheld mode on the Switch 1. I think with the second game, it went as low as 540p, maybe even 480p. So yeah, that was not good at all. And when Xenoblade Chronicles X, the Wii U game, was ported over earlier this year, a couple data miners found an option for 60 FPS in the game's code. It seems like this is going to come, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Next game that I think is going to get patched, this is really a game that I really want to get patched, is Mario and Luigi Brothership. 60 FPS would make a huge difference with this game, and they've been doing some quality of life stuff, and with the last wave of patches, some games just outright got quality of life improvements, like Echoes of Wisdom. Hopefully they fix Luigi's battle menu controls. Luigi, in all the Mario and Luigi games prior, you controlled him with the B button, and they just completely took that away. You can still use the B button when you're doing your attacks, but when selecting the attacks and navigating through menus, you have to use the A button, which was previously exclusive to Mario. So I don't know, man. I really hope they give us an option to at least use the B button, at least for series veterans, just to do that. Also, load times in this game are absolutely atrocious. I can't believe how every time you start a battle and exit a battle, there is a loading screen. So those can get pretty rough. Hopefully that gets eliminated. And I don't quite see 4K with this one. I'm thinking maybe 1440p, and I'm not sure if it'll get HDR, but it definitely would make the game pop. Next game is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Pretty self-explanatory. The GameCube game ran at 60 FPS. The remake on Switch 1 runs at 30 FPS. Just boost it up to 60 FPS, give us 4K. Sounds good. I feel like that would be good. Next game, and this is interesting, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yes, I do think this will get a free patch. No, I don't think it's going to get a Switch 2 edition. And I've seen a lot of people think that it's going to. I'll explain why later when I get to the Mario Anniversary stuff. But anyway, I'm expecting a 4K, possibly a 120 FPS bump. Definitely think we'll get HDR on this one. Next one is Metroid Dread. This game already ran flawlessly at 60 FPS on the Switch 1. It runs at 120 FPS when emulated on some laptops, so Nintendo could easily patch it, just unlock the frame rate, give us that 120 FPS, and that would be great. Also, there were some mini cutscenes / loading screens when you travel as Samus from one area to another, and those were really choppy on the Switch 1, so if they were to patch this game, let's just smooth that out. Next game is Kirby Star Allies. It's still stuck at 30 FPS, unlike pretty much every other recent Kirby game. It actually did get a patch earlier this year that I did cover on the channel, but it wasn't a performance patch. Maybe it was just a compatibility thing. But yeah, this one would look great with a 60 FPS patch, so here's hoping. Last game I think is going to get patched is Famicom Detective Club. Just give it a mouse mode. It's a point-and-click adventure. It just makes sense. These games would thrive with, just mouse mode, so that would be pretty cool. MEO came out back in 2023, so it's a bit recent. If you're not going to do the first two games, at least give mouse mode for that one. But yeah, all right, let's talk about some new games. Splatoon Raiders. This one was revealed back in June on Nintendo Today. The footage looked pretty far along, so I think it's time for us to get a new trailer just showing us what the gameplay loop is like. We have no idea when this game's coming out. I think 2026 is most likely, but yeah, anyway. Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. This one's been long rumored. I mean, we know it exists, given that the same person that leaked Engage also said that this game was being made. And I can actually see this game kicking off the Direct. I mean, there's been a couple times now where new Fire Emblem games have kicked off Directs, so very likely. Next game is Kirby Air Riders. I do think we're going to get another Air Riders Direct from Sakurai leading up to the launch, so I'm not expecting a ton of info here, but I do think we'll get a character reveal here, so that should be cool. Maybe they'll follow up on that tease from the end of that last Kirby Air Riders Direct with the whole, I don't know who that person was driving around in the desert. I think it might be like from one of the older games. Maybe they'll follow up on that tease from the end of the last Kirby Direct. Seemed like they were teasing story mode, so that'd be cool. Next, we got Rhythm Heaven and Tamagotchi Life. Both of these games were shown in the March 27 Switch 1 Direct. They were not shown, though, in the April Direct, and we haven't seen them since. I think both of these games are going to get Switch 2 editions. You know, if Nintendo's going to go out of their way to update older titles like Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Link's Awakening, which came out in like 2019, why would you not make an update or at least a Switch 2 edition for these games, given that they come out in 2026. Rhythm Heaven especially has a ton of potential with mouse mode. I can see mouse mode being used for some rhythm games, and yeah, I can definitely see it. Metroid Prime 4. Look, this is either coming out in December or it's going to get delayed. I'm gonna say December, but I'm not like all in. I just think that it's kind of weird that we never got a release date for it, and we're close to the end of the year. I mean, this is a game you really want to market ahead of time. And yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, now's the time to fix that. Just give us a release date. Let us know if it's coming out in December or if it's getting delayed. And finally, Pokemon Legends ZA. This has been in the last 2 full Nintendo Directs, so I'm expecting it here. The game's a month away. I think it's time for a big blowout trailer. Show us the story. Show us, you know, Xerneas and Evital and how this game follows up on X and Y. Some new megas would be pretty cool, but I think it's time that we start ramping up, given the game's just literally weeks away. Now let's shift gears and talk about one of Nintendo's most underrated studios, in my opinion, Camelot. So Camelot is the studio that's been handling the Mario sports game, but once upon a time, they used to make RPGs. They made the Golden Sun games, which are some of like the best RPGs ever, from what I've heard. Me personally, I've not been able to play the games, but I have played their Mario Tennis and golf games on the GBA, which were RPGs and which I think used the Golden Sun engine, and I loved those games. So yeah, this series though has been dormant since the last entry on the DS, so it's been a long time. And the reason why I'm bringing up Golden Sun now in particular is because Nintendo Music just updated their service with tracks from Golden Sun: The Lost Age, which is just very interesting timing. It should also be noted that, you know, Mario Tennis Aces, the one that came out on Switch, had a bit of an RPG-ish story mode, so it kind of shows that the dev team is trying to go back to their roots. So yeah, whether it's shown in this Direct or not, I do believe Camelot is making a new Golden Sun game. I think the Mario sports games gotta, you know, take a break after what happened with Strikers. So yeah, let's just put that on the back burner for a while. I know they didn't make Strikers, but that whole genre of Mario sports games, let's just take a break from that for a while. Whether it's shown in this Direct or not, I do believe Camelot is making a new Golden Sun game. But speaking of RPGs and cult classics, Mother 3! I know it sounds silly, but Nintendo has been on a hot streak of reviving a lot of old cult classic franchises and games lately. You know, they gave us a Super Mario RPG remake. They remade the Famicom Detective Club games, which I'd argue are way more niche than Earthbound, and even gave us a new game in that franchise with MEO. Also, do I gotta mention Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door? Heck, they brought back the Mario and Luigi series back from the dead after Alpha Dream went under. All I'm saying is, anything could happen. If they were to do Mother 3, I could see them either doing an official translation for, GBA Online, but at that point, like, you might as well just go all the way and give us a remake. So I'm slightly leaning towards a remake. If we actually get Mother 3, it would be the equivalent of the Metroid Prime 4 announcement that we got back in the Switch reveal back in 2017. I mean, it would be a colossal announcement for the hardcore fans, and it would set the tone for the rest of the generation. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Y'all already know it helps out with the algorithm. Make sure to drop a like. And also, let me know in the comments what you guys are predicting. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But with that being said, let's talk about Mario's 40th anniversary. I don't think they're going to do a standalone direct for Mario later this month or something, but I do predict that this direct will end with an entire segment dedicated to Mario's 40th anniversary. Sort of like how Zelda's 35th anniversary, that was just tacked on to the end of their E3 2021 direct. My first prediction for Mario's anniversary is a sequel to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Not a Switch 2 edition like so many people think. By 2026, it'll have been 3 years since the original Mario Wonder came out. 3 years is ample time for a 2D platformer. They got the engine, they got the art style, they got a lot of assets done. They can just turn around and make a new game. It should also be noted that Nintendo skipped making DLC entirely. We didn't get a single level pack. New Super Mario Bros. 2 got DLC. New Super Mario Bros. U got DLC with the whole Luigi stuff. Super Mario Run got DLC. This is the only modern 2D Mario game that didn't get DLC. I think, just like how with Tears of the Kingdom, and how that development team decided not to do DLC and instead just move straight to the next game, I think the Mario team is doing the exact same thing. But like I said, I do think they'll do something for the original game though, possibly a 120 FPS patch, or at least a 4K HDR patch. That would be, pretty cool just to celebrate for the anniversary. 3D Mario, I don't see it. I don't think it's happening yet since Bonanza just came out. Me personally, I don't see 3D Mario coming out until like 2028 at the earliest. So yeah, I'm not expecting to see it here at all. But I would not complain if I was completely wrong about that. I would not be complaining at all. If new 3D Mario game, I'm there day one. But what about 3D All-Stars? I think it'll get another physical run. They patched the game earlier this year to run on the Switch 2, which is like, okay, yeah, you gotta make it be compatible, but you guys are updating a game that you're not even selling anymore, not even on the eShop. So yeah, let's just bring it back. And I do think they'll include Galaxy 2 this time. I do think they'll right that wrong. I love Galaxy 2. That's like one of my favorite 3D Mario games, if not my favorite. But 3D Land would be awesome too. I really love 3D Land, but I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. I'm still holding out hope though that Sunshine and Mario 64 can get some sort of improvements. Mario 64 would look good with, 60 FPS and widescreen. Sunshine, they went out of their way to make it widescreen, but it's not running at 60 FPS. I think like the beta for the game ran at 60 FPS, so it was clearly always meant to run at 60 FPS, but they just couldn't get it to run like that on the GameCube. Let's right that wrong, man. Just the Switch 2 is powerful enough. Let's do it. Give us that 60 FPS. And to be honest, the Switch 1 is powerful enough to run Sunshine at 60 FPS, but I don't know. We'll see. Now, Mario Kart World. I think this is going to be one of the biggest parts of the anniversary and the direct. We'll get some new costumes to celebrate, some new Knockout Tour Cups, utilizing intermissions in the game that just weren't used for the 8 cups we already have. Some new P-Switch missions in free roam themed around Mario's history, maybe even some boss battles. I think it would be cool to like reassure people that, this game's gonna last the next 10 years. There's an open world. We're open to updating that open world and delivering more content on that front. I'm seeing a lot of people expecting, they'll make a whole island for new tracks and they'll place the tracks in that island. Yeah, I can see them doing that when they start like doing DLC packs for tracks. But in terms of the map already, I mean, the map is huge, and that is a map that I feel like can be a bit modular. I feel like you can take advantage of and just, sprinkle some P-switches around and just give some people new content there. And like I said, boss battles, I mean, Mario Kart Wii, there were boss battles, that you would get off the Mario Kart Wii channel. They would update that and you would get to fight boss battles post-launch. So yeah, I don't think they're against the idea of adding boss battles. I mean, we already have Boom Boom, the ice ball dude with the spike on his head. You got the dinosaurs. I mean, you already have characters and enemies in the game that you could just, with a couple tweaks, turn them into boss fights. So yeah, I'm surprised the game doesn't have any boss fights. So it'd be pretty cool if they went and updated the game and gave us that. Lastly, I'm expecting a music player feature where you can choose which song to listen to while in free roam. I don't think we're going to get any new tracks just yet. I think they're probably going to wait a while before they start doing that. I mean, this game is probably going to last the next 10 years, so you kind of want to space everything out. But yeah, I think we'll get some costumes and P-switch missions, some knockout tour cups, and some quality of life improvements, which, hey, I'm not complaining with that. Okay, now let's talk about third parties. Red Dead Redemption 2. I am absolutely sure this game is coming. It's been rumored since 2021 to come out on the Switch 2 before we even knew it was called the Switch 2. Insiders came out again earlier this year and they said that it's getting a 60 FPS patch on other consoles and that it was releasing on Switch 2. This is happening for sure. Just get it out the way before GTA 6 next year. This is going to be one of those miracle ports that look absolutely fantastic on the Switch. Now, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, when is it going to come out? Me personally, I don't see this game coming out this year. You have a bunch of other third parties like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Elden Ring, which I'm about to mention. You have first party games like Legend ZA, Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4. How does Professor Layton and the New World of Steam fit into all this? I don't know. And we still haven't even heard the dub. Like, we don't even know if the English voice actors are coming back yet. Yeah, the holiday season is packed. I don't see it coming out this year. But also you have GTA 6 early next year, if it doesn't get delayed. So I don't know when's a good time to release New World of Steam. Are we looking at late 2026? Come on, man. I don't know. I feel like this game, it should have been had a release date. But yeah, like I said, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Elden Ring, both are going to get release dates this year. I don't think they're going to get delayed. Most likely November or December games. The reason why I'm being a bit more lenient to these two games instead of Professor Layton is because these are ports. They came out on PlayStation, they came out on PC, really popular games. By now, you already know about these games, and you know whether or not you're going to pick it up, so yeah. Lastly, Microsoft. Since back in January, Microsoft has been rumored to be one of the biggest major Switch 2 partners developing games for it. So far, we've only seen that Indiana Jones game get announced, which is pretty significant. I'm not even trying to downplay that. But what about Halo Master Chief Collection and Microsoft Flight Simulator? These games were rumored heavily earlier in the year to be coming out on the Switch 2. Maybe they're shown in this Direct. I'm going to say no. I think they're going to be in the Game Awards. I think the Master Chief Collection coming to Switch 2 is like a Jeff Keighley tier. Oh, we'll give that to Jeff Keighley to hype it up and announce it. I think that's when they're going to do it. Don't think they're going to be in this Direct. But we might see Indiana Jones. We might see, I don't know, Conquer Bad Fur Day. We might see something. We're going to get something from Microsoft in this Direct, I would say. But Master Chief Collection, I don't think so. And those are my predictions. Can't wait to see what they show. It's going to be very interesting. I feel like people are underestimating how big of a Direct this is going to be. But yeah, I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, take care.